Good evening and welcome to the Akron School Board January 26th, that is now the 29th School Board meeting. We hope that you all are warm and safe, and we're happy that you're able to join us. Mr. Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Hall.
Present.
Reverend Harrison.
Present.
Mr. Jaros.
Present.
Ms. Kelly.
Present.
Dr. Molinar.
Present.
Mr. Montgomery.
Present.
Mrs. Sykes.
Present.
All present.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. I am Barbara Sykes, President of the Akron School Board. Please stand and let's all proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to approve the regular board meeting
So moved.
from the minutes of January 12th, 2026?
Sorry about that. So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Hearing no objections to the minutes, all members are prepared. Mr. Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Harrison.
Yes.
Mr. Jaros.
Yes.
Ms. Kelly.
Yes.
Dr. Molinar.
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery.
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes.
Yes.
Ms. Hall.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. So I've been informed that there is no one here to speak from the public tonight. Please know that you are always welcome. So, Madam Superintendent.
Good evening, President Sykes, members of the board. Under recognitions, due to the Calamity Day today, our students that were coming to present you with your National Board Appreciation, tokens of appreciation, are not here, but we will make sure they are here at our next board meeting.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. The Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight we're going to go over the December financial report. I have it up on the screen here. Here on page 3, this is our summary of current actual activity. Our monthly financial reports provide us with actual and projected totals and comparisons for the month ended, as well as the fiscal year to date for our general fund. This report reflects both the month of December and the first half of our fiscal year, which runs from July 1st to June 30th. And in December, financial activity trended slightly positive for both the month and the fiscal year to date. So here on page 3, the first set of blue, yellow, and green tiles compare our 2026 fiscal year-to-date revenues, expenditures, and cash balances to the same for fiscal year-to-date amounts for fiscal 25. So far this year, we've received $16 million more in revenue. Our expenditures have been about $6.5 million less, and our cash balance is $5.2 million higher than through December of last year. We will go into greater detail on revenues and expenditures on pages 4 and 5. In section 2, the second set of tiles there, it's comparing the first 6 months of this school year's actual data plus 6 months of projected data to the forecast. And through the first 6 months, our revenue has come in about $1.3 million higher. We have spent $918,000 less than expected, and adding those together gives us a positive trend through December of $2.3 million. And we'll go into more detail on the expenses on page 6. Down at the bottom, section 3, there's a gray and blue bar chart that shows the ups and downs of our cash balance. And you can see that in January, this is our lowest point every fiscal year. as we spend down our tax revenue we received through the fall. Now we'll begin to receive more tax revenue through from February through March, which will bring that back up. Okay, so moving on to the next page, page 4. This breaks down that first blue revenue tile from the first page. Our total revenue was down about $3.5 million when compared to December of last year. Now, this is just primarily due to timing of our tax and increment financing money that came in earlier in November of fiscal 25 than it did this year. We got it. Sorry, the other way around. We got it in November last time, or December last time. We got it in November before last year. In section 2, we see that our revenue collection through December is up $16 million more than through December of last year. The biggest increase there has been our property tax revenue from our new levy we passed in November of 24. All other revenue is also up by about $2.9 million than through this point last year, which reflects an increase in tax increment financing. In the next section down there, section 2, actually, I just went through that. I apologize. So on to page 5. This is our expenditure detail. Overall, our expenditures for the month were down $600,000, or about 1.9% when compared to December of last year. Salaries and benefits were down 0.2%, which is negligible. All other expenditures were down 65%, with no significant variances noted there. Purchase services, on the other hand, were up 21.9%, primarily due to an increase of $549,000 in pupil transportation costs. Actual expenses incurred through December compared to the prior year in the section 2 on that page. Our total expenses so far this school year compared to last year, through 6 months, our expenses have been $6.5 million, or 3.5% lower than through last year at this time. The majority of this decrease is due to a $4 million decrease in textbooks and a $2.8 million decrease in building expenses. And we've also spent $747,000 less on supplies than last year. However, we forecasted a 1.83% to our pupil transportation cost increase for this year. But unfortunately, those costs have been up $2.3 million, or 60% so far this year. Through December of last year, we had spent $3.9 million on pupil transportation, and so far this year, we've spent $6.3 million. On page 6, this is a summary of our revenue and expenditure detail compared to our forecast projections, which continue to be very accurate. Through 6 months, revenue is trending $1.3 million higher than the forecast, which is 0.37% of our forecasted $377 million. And on the expenditure side, we're also trending very close, $918,000 less than forecasted, which is only 0.24% less than our projected $387 million. So we're pretty much dead on. That completes the financial report. We also have attached to that the monthly reconciliation. This is a procedure we perform each month. It represents all of our funds, not just the general fund. On the left-hand side are our book balances. On the right-hand side are our bank balances. At the end of December, we were maintaining $211 million in total cash balances. And we perform this reconciliation every month as an internal control to ensure the accuracy and completeness of our financial records, detect errors and fraud promptly, and effectively manage cash flow. Now, in your packets, I've also given you a new one-pager forecast. I'm going to present this. This is the same data I just went over in a different format. We're going to present this at the Finance Committee meeting and see if that is likable to everyone, and then possibly be presenting this from now on. And that concludes my financial report. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Bauer. Are there any questions or comments? Member Hall.
Thank you, Madam President. Just one quick question. You had said transportation was up it was 3.9 million last year to 6.3 million this year. And when you say transportation, is that just transporting our children, or is that I don't know, is there anything extra included in there, or is just that transporting our children?
That is just the cost of transporting our students.
Okay.
So this is reflecting an increase in the van driver area, most likely. That is primarily the increase in cost there.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing and hearing no further questions for the treasurer, we will move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Sykes. I would like to bring to everyone's attention that we recently suffered a loss. It is with heavy hearts that we share the passing of Angela Hammelman following a courageous and heroic 2-year battle with cancer. She is a beloved and dedicated member of our school community and an educator at our NIF-STEM high school. She was a dedicated member of the Akron Public Schools family and widely regarded as the selfless, kind, and generous heart of the school. Please keep her family and loved ones in your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. While we mourn her passing, we also celebrate the lasting impact she made on so many lives. Also, I would like to highlight a former student. Yesterday, January 28th, marked the 40th anniversary of Judy Resnick's death on the Challenger, which took place January 28th, 1986. Judith Resnick was one of Akron's very finest. She was an incredibly gifted electrical engineer, software engineer, biomedical engineer, pilot, and NASA astronaut. She was the 4th woman, the 2nd American woman, and the 1st Jewish woman to fly in space. Resnick was the 16th woman in history of the United States to have attained a perfect score on the SAT exam. She earned her PhD in electrical engineering from the University of Maryland. Her former APS students and teachers spoke so highly of her, and she often was said that she and her education in the Akron Public Schools, where she attended Fairlawn, Perkins, and Firestone, were a critical part of her growth and development. We would like to thank Adam Motter, Chrissy Sims, and Karen Stippick for authoring some materials that is located on our APS Social Studies website. And I would like to conclude by bringing attention to the fact that we've had some very challenging last 2 weeks. The decision to cancel school was made with much thought for the safety of our children and families. Today, we sent home a letter to our families explaining the state's calamity guidelines and how many hours each school has left. So I did want to share that document with the board. So if I could just provide you with some highlights, that under Ohio House Bill 59, there is no longer a specific limit on the number of calamity days a district can use. Districts are now required to meet a minimum number of instructional hours per school year rather than a set number of days. According to the Ohio Revised Code, schools must meet the following minimum instructional hours: Grades K to 6 is 910 instructional hours, and grades 7 through 12 is 1,001 instructional hours. So the question has been, does Akron Public Schools meet these requirements? Yes, we exceeded the Ohio State's required minimum instructional hours. So our families have received a document via email regarding how many instructional hours are left at their school. And also included is the plan for if we do need to make up any instructional calamity days. Due to tomorrow's forecast of -3 degrees and a wind chill of -15 degrees, we will not be in session. We look forward to welcoming our students back on Monday, and we are encouraging all of our families to ensure their students dress warmly. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing no questions or comments, we will move on to the report of our committees. Member Montgomery for the Finance and Capital Management.
Thank you, Madam President. The Finance and Capital Management Committee meeting occurred on January the 21st, where we discussed several items regarding the district's finances. As Treasurer Bowers mentioned, he reviewed the finance report he just discussed with the board, as well as the implementation of a new one-pager for the board that he distributed. Among the items that we discussed were the recommendation of the committee for the full board to consider on tonight's agenda, the contract with Beaver Constructors for the Bookdale High School press box, as well as Westfield Consulting Group as the owner's representative for the North High School replacement. And our next meeting will be February the 18th at 6:30.
Thank you, Member Montgomery. We will take these one at a time. So are you going to make a motion to
Yes.
approve the Beaver Construction contract?
Yes, I would make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been made, and there's a second. Any discussion? Member Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question about the guaranteed maximum price. We had some thorough discussion in the committee meetings. We were given a price, but I was a little confused. A question was asked, if the project goes over $2.5 million, are we, the district, responsible for the overage? The answer was yes. And so I would like some explanation as to what is the guaranteed maximum price for this project.
Thank you, Member Harrison. Member Montgomery, would you like to answer, or would you like someone from?
No, I think so. The guaranteed maximum price is $2.5 million. Anything, I believe the discussion was that anything that would create an overage would have to be approved by the board as a change order. So the scope of work for the 23 packets, was it, Director Falk? 23 packets is the $2.5 million. So anything that's a change in scope would then have to come back to the board as a change order. That is my understanding.
Member Harrison.
Yes, that was my understanding as well. But with the construction manager at risk, and this was in a previous project, it was explained that a guaranteed maximum price meant that the construction manager at risk was responsible for the overage. And I just want a clarification. I just want to make sure that either way, if we're responsible for the overage or if the construction manager, if it's the 2.5, the guaranteed maximum price for the district.
Unless anything changes in the scope of work.
Member Harrison.
Yeah, I would like the administration to answer that.
That should come
Good evening, President Sykes, Vice President Molnar, and members of the board, Superintendent. Yes, that is correct. If the guaranteed maximum price, if voted on tonight, is the maximum price, and it is expected that we will meet that scope of work. If something should happen that is unforeseen and it does need a change order, no additional cost could be expended by either the construction manager at risk or the district without the board's additional approval and explanation.
Member Hall.
Just one quick question. I know at our last meeting in December when we touched on this, we were also talking about the bathrooms and things like that. Could you just quickly just explain exactly what's being built?
We are actually building, first we will demolish the current press box and concession stand, which are one unit. Once those are demolished, we will be making and constructing a concession stand on the first floor with the press box on top. We will upgrade the current track from cinder to asphalt and put the utilities for the additional building, which will be located at the southeast corner of the stadium property, which will include restrooms for both male and female, including handicap change tables, etc. And it will also contain a storage location on the building that will allow the field turf that is currently stored inside of the building for the stadium field to be stored in this building along with athletic equipment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Seeing and hearing no more questions? All right, so the question is, shall Mr. Montgomery's motion be passed? The motion to approve the Beaver construction contract for the guaranteed maximum price of $2.5 million. Mr. Treasurer, we'll call the roll.
Mr. Jaros?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Dr. Molnar?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Reverend Harrison?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. So the second motion, Mr. Montgomery, was motion to approve the Westfield Consulting Group as the owner's representation for the North Hill Replacement Project contract. Is there a second?
I second.
Hearing the motion and a second, is there discussion? Any questions? No discussions? Seeing and hearing no questions nor discussions, the question is, shall the motion pass? The treasurer will call the roll.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Dr. Molnar?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Reverend Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Jaros?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. The Instructional Policy and Student Achievement Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. The Instructional Policy and Student Achievement Committee met on Tuesday, January 13th. We met to establish our 2026 goals and procedures and our plan for the year. One of the biggest differences in the Instructional Policy Committee this year than possibly in some of the previous meetings is we are going to focus on active discussion on upcoming initiatives and prioritizing items that require upcoming board action. And so all of our committee meetings will be preparing us for items that will be sent to Rules Committee and the upcoming board agendas. We also came up with our meeting schedule of when the rest of the meetings for the year are, and the Instructional Policy Committee, the administrative side, is going to also bring us a yearly scope of work so we can be aligned and prepared of what's coming for the year. So with that in mind, our next meeting, our first official meeting where we're going through instructional policy items, will be this coming Monday. And so that agenda is up in board docs already. So Monday, February 2nd, we'll be meeting at 4:30 here in the boardroom.
Thank you. Legal and Contracts Committee.
The Legal and Contracts Committee met on January 21st. We heard from Dr. Goggins with the Akron NAACP about a need to develop better policies and procedures around security resource officers, or SROs, as well as student discipline, as well as a request for a better utilization of our community learning centers. The outcome from that discussion was that the administration agreed to meet with Dr. Goggins regarding his concerns. Our Instructional Policy Committee accepted the invitation to discuss policy and procedure regarding disciplinary actions so that school buildings, safety team members, teachers, and SROs can be on the same page on how to manage procedures and conflict in the building. Dr. Lash shared the partnership that we have with United Way and the 6 family resource centers and the great work that they have been doing. Those 6 resource centers, for the record, are Helen Arnold, David Hill, Higher, McEbright, North High, and I Promise School. And I wanted to thank our members of the media from Signal Akron and Andrew Kuiper for publishing an article about Akron Schools Family Resource Centers on January 22nd to get the word out to the community that these do exist. At that meeting, we requested a 12-month overview of contracts that need to be renew or expire each month by our February meeting. This will prevent last-minute votes and rushed decisions on contracts. We also received a brief answer regarding our absurdly high pupil transportation expenses and are aware that we are over budget this year, so further discussion and action will be taken to address this matter. We heard a presentation from Director Ruyan and Ms. Wyant on the Schoollytics Inc. purchase agreement. Our committee voted unanimously 3-0 to recommend a yes vote on the upcoming item number 24.2. And lastly, we discussed briefly the replacement hire of the Director, Student and Family Services position. No decision or recommendation was made, and I recommend this item be discussed further in executive session due to this being a personnel matter. Our next meeting will be on February 18th, 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. That's my report.
Thank you, Member Giroux. So we will take the item of Director of Student and Family Services up in the Executive Committee. Let's move on to Policy Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Policy Committee met on Tuesday, January 13th. In that meeting, myself, as Chair, Carmea Kelly, Member Carmea Kelly is Vice Chair, and Dr. Molnar. The Policy Committee reviewed the standard operating procedures that we will proceed with in this coming year. We also discussed the need to move older policies off the agenda. We've had a few policies that's been on there for more than a year, so we discussed that we needed to move those policies. We introduced 2 new policies, rehiring of administrators, that would be a new policy, and an administrative leave policy. We introduced that policy. We also introduced a replacement policy to the public records, public information. And so, I'm not sure. Our next meeting will be this Monday, February 2nd, at 5:30 here in the Reverend Dr. Curtis Walker boardroom. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Harrison. I actually have a request for the Policy Committee that I will place under new business.
Yes, Madam President.
Those are the reports of the committee, except we have the Student Success Celebration Committee.
Save the best for last.
Yes,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good evening. The Student Success Celebration Committee met on Wednesday, January 21st, and it was a great evening. It was quick, but it was a wonderful event. We kicked off by recognizing a student from Windermere, CLC, Mr. Holt Wichman, for his excellence in both wrestling and academics. This student trained 6 days a week and still earned honor roll status. That's very impressive and setting a good example. We also celebrated Firestone CLC Senior Troy Weiss, everyone knows Troy, and he's also a student board member, whose talents were showcased on the Kelly Clarkson Show. We watched a short video, and it was truly exciting to see one of our students represented here at Akron Public School and on stage, as well as, I don't recall the gentleman, but he is a Bookto graduate. Let me get that on the mic. He's a Bookto graduate, and he is a fashion design. What was it, Dr. Jackson? I'm sorry. What was his name? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you said, not Dr. Jackson. My apologies. Mrs. Chapman, I thought you said his name out loud, but I didn't hear it. No? One more time? Paul Tazwell, yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. So congratulations to Troy for being honored on the Kelly Clarkson Show. We also recognized 3 students from NIF STEM High School who earned first place and third place in the Congressional App Challenge, sponsored by Congress Amelia Sykes. These students at STEM were Bastion Nowak, Caxton McGraw, and Luke Hinkleman. They also submitted a video of an app that they created, and we're looking forward to STEM highlighting that app and maybe implementing it into the schools, as well as all the other schools in Akron Public Schools. Our next meeting will be held on February 18th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Overall, this meeting was beautifully reflected by the board's commitment in celebrating student excellence and uplifting in many ways our students continue to make us proud. Each story reminded us that success in Akron Public Schools comes in many forms and worth celebrating. If you know of any children or child or schools that are doing something exciting, please let us know. You can reach out to Mrs. Angela Carter or myself or any other committee members. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Hall. And that was a fun time. It really was a fun committee. And I would encourage everyone to come by whenever the Student Success Celebration Committee is meeting, because it is really fun and absolutely wonderful to see the students and hear about their accomplishments, because they are outstandingly fantastic. So we'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda. There has been a request to remove items from the consent agenda, item 21.8, 22.5, 10.6, and 11.2. Those items will be discussed under new business. Understanding that we are moving those items, and so now the motion will be to approve the consent agenda with those items that have been requested removed. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Thank you, Member Hall. Seeing and hearing the motion and the second, the question is, shall the consent agenda be approved? All members will prepare to vote, and the treasurer will call the roll.
Mr. Montgomery,
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes,
Yes.
Ms. Hall,
Yes.
Reverend Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Jaros,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Dr. Molinar.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. All right, so we are now at Business Affairs. So we do have a number of items under Business Affairs. One item has already been discussed. And just as a reminder, we will have Member Jaros, you can repeat that motion again if you don't mind, as it relates to the one item that reported out of your committee.
Yes. So I move for the board to approve the number 24.2 Schoolytics, Inc. purchase agreement.
You want to go into a little bit more detail on that?
Sure, yes. We had a presentation by Director Ruyan on a new software program that they shared with us. The project will be more cost-effective than the current software program. It seems to have a great opportunity for engagement, not only within the district and for the staff, but also with the families in the community. So I do recommend that we move forward with this. This makes our district happy. It's more cost-effective. I think it's a win-win.
So the question is, shall the amendment, so can we have a second?
Second.
Hearing the amendment and the second, the question is, is there any discussion? Member Harrison.
I just want a clarification on the number.
Not to exceed $140,000 for the contract?
The item number.
The item number.
Oh, item is number 24.2.
Are there any additional questions or comments? Hearing no questions or comments, the question is, shall item 24.2 be passed? All members are prepared to vote. The treasurer will take the roll.
Mrs. Sykes?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Reverend Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Jaros?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Dr. Molinar?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. So we have the 24.3 approval of the business affairs recommendation. The administration.
We are looking at, good evening again.
Good evening.
We are looking at item 24.1, which is the purchase of orthopedic buses for the district. We need and put out an issue for response in an RFP as we are increasing the amount of orthopedic students that need specific service by wheelchair. We received one vendor back in a response, and we are asking that we get approval to allow these buses to move forward. If approval is given tonight, we see these buses arriving in 20 to 24 weeks, which means they would be available for the Highway Patrol to come in and certify them in order to be operational for the 26-27 school year. And this was part of the original budget for FY26 in order to, that was originally planned to purchase these. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Director. Are there any questions? Member Hall.
So two quick questions, and I'll just say them all together. What is the cost on this? And then, I'm going to get the second one in too. So the cost on this, and then are we able to modify our current buses to handle this lift, or do we have to purchase? I mean, is it necessary? I don't want to say is it necessary. My question is, are we able to modify our current buses that we have to kind of cut some of this cost, but still service our children?
All right, the first question is the total cost for the two buses is $362,000, and so each bus came in at approximately $181,000 apiece. And your question is, can I take a standard bus and modify it? And the answer is no. There are very specific actual rails and items that are in orthopedic buses in order to properly secure the wheelchair for the child. And the buses are actually put together with the proper lift and mechanics to do that, and they cannot be modified from a bus that's already been made standard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question is simply, with the lead time, 20 weeks, is that a standard orthopedic bus, or do we custom these to APS?
No, actually, a standard time frame usually comes to board at this time, and that has been up until COVID. And all school buses during COVID, due to the lack of mechanic ability to build and stuff, used to take almost 2 years. So we are absolutely thrilled that we can get a response in 20 to 24 weeks. Thank you.
Seeing no more questions or discussions, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Hearing the motion and second, the question is, shall the Cardinal bus sales and service contract in the amount of $362,000 for 2 orthopedic buses be passed? All members are prepared to vote, and the treasurer will take the roll.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Reverend Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Giroux?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Dr. Molinar?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. So I believe there was another item, was it schoolistics? Did
We vote
just
on that
do
with
schoolistic?
24.2,
Okay,
so
great.
we've already passed that.
All righty. Sorry. What about transportation? Oh, no.
I think the other item was transportation. No? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, so we'll move on to unfinished business. And unfinished business, we have a number of items that was moved from the consent agenda to unfinished business. So we have item 21.8, 22.5, 10.6, and 11.2. It's 21.8. 21.8 is authorizing contract with parents for transporting their children to and or from school 2025-2026. Are there any questions? Is there any discussion? Hearing no questions and having no discussions, the question is, shall the contract with parents for transporting their children to and from school the school year of 2025 to 2026 be passed? All members are prepared to vote, and the treasurer will call the roll.
Reverend Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Giroux?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Dr. Molinar?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Abstain.
Motion carries 601.
Thank you. That was 21.8. The next item moved from the consent agenda to new business is 22.5. 22.5 is Lewis Landscaping and Nursery Incorporated Service Agreement. So the question is whether or not the item should pass. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Member Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a couple of questions on this particular item. This particular item I know is necessary. It's a landscaping contract that will service our athletic fields. But my question is with a couple of them. The Kenmore Stadium is a full stadium. Is a full, let me say, 100-yard playing field with end zones as addition to the 100-yard playing field. That contract is for $2,487. The Garfield CLC field is a 60-yard field, but that contract is $4,989. And so I'm trying to gain understanding as to why Moore Field would be less than a 60-yard field.
So is there someone from the administration that can answer that or attempt to answer that? Thank you, Madam Director.
Thank you. Good evening. Each one of these fields were actually looked at by the landscaping company. Some of them have different bases. Some of them have different terms of actual time frame. In the case, this is a contract that has been renewed for annual maintenance, and their most recent review of these fields stated what we needed to do for each field, and this is the price they quoted. So to your point, yes, one may be shorter than the other, but it is the base of the field and the prescription that they said that they needed to bring these fields up to full compliance is the way we obtained the quote.
Member Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That would bring me to my second question. I submitted an email last spring concerning the Garfield CLC field, which was, I don't want to say unserviceable because they have to play on the field or they have to practice on the field, but it was full of rocks and different materials, and so is this prescription, and I spoke with the athletic director, but unfortunately it snowed the next day and it continues to snow, so we haven't been able to, well, he hasn't been able to take a look at it, but I wonder, is that prescription to get the rocks out before they seed it?
Yes, that was part of the process that they would go ahead and do that as well. So we are trying to minimize the gravel and stuff that came with the property and that comes through the surface, and they will be putting topsoil, et cetera, to improve that surface as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Member Hall.
Just a quick question. Thank you, Madam President. Again, kind of to piggyback off of Member Harrison, with the Kenmore Stadium, that's a beautiful stadium. And, I ride past it quite a bit, and it just looks so dead. They have a box, they have a concession stand, they have all, kind of the bells and whistles. It's just, we need to, put more into it. And then I see when we have Firestone's field, that's more of a practice field, right? Not a competition field.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so I'm not sure what exactly they're doing at each stadium, but I just feel like Kenmore could be a little bit more represented, to just be brought up a little bit more.
This is the maintenance of the actual property field only. This isn't to do your bleachers or other items. This is to maintain the grass surface and to bring it up to plain stature.
Right. I just, driving past, it just it looks bad. The field, that whole stadium just looks bad. And it's in a neighborhood where our residents can get out to, and then the students have to travel all the way across town just to be there. And
one of the issues we did have, Ms. Hall, was the severe drought that we went through during the summer and the high temperatures, which actually does dry out these fields extremely quickly. So you need to aerate them, and we have to make arrangements to water them. And the Kenmore field, we go out and water, but we had a very, very severe drought. So this is part of the prescription that they put together for this. Thank you.
All righty. Seeing no more questions, there's no more discussion. So the question is whether or not item 22.5, Lewis Landscape and Nursery Service Agreement shall be passed. All members are prepared to vote. The treasurer shall call the roll.
Reverend Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Jaros?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Dr. Molinar?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Item 10.6, transferred and reclassification. Professional staff was moved to the agenda from the consent agenda. Is there a motion to pass?
So moved.
Is there a second? We have to have a second in order to discuss.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Is there a discussion? Item 10.6, transfer and reclassification, professional staff.
Who previously did this work, and what type of job is this supposed to be doing?
Thank you, Thank you, Member Giroux.
President Sykes, Vice President Mulliner, member of the board, Superintendent Outley. So this is a position through our Title VI Part B non-public dollars for students with a disability. It services students that are court-placed, open enrolled in and out of the district, as well as our students that attend parochial schools and are on service plans. And then it also services our students on John Peterson and Autism Scholarship. So we have about 11 students. It has grown to about 1,100 students this year. They're responsible for writing IEPs, sitting as the district rep at the IEP service plans, working with the diocese, parochial schools, scholarship providers, all of the above.
Member Giroux.
So as this position was brought to my attention that a lot of the duties assigned to this position would need to be negotiated and could result in us failing to comply with our contractual agreements, that the job code itself does not appear to apply to this position. Does that sound accurate? Does this need to be a negotiated position with this specific duties with some of our union members?
It was a position that was posted. I'm not sure what the title is or how that came about. It is a position that was posted, we interviewed, and then was offered to a candidate.
Okay.
So it's not a contract position.
Okay.
Member Harrison.
Thank you. I don't think I caught the answer to the first question, who previously was in this role, who previously done this? Was it a consultant? Was it a APS staff member? So that would be my first question.
Yes. So it was previously an APS staff member. We do currently have a part-time person through a special education specialist position that provides some of the non-public parochial service plan support. So with the growing of it, it's now expanded position that we need to have covered through our autism scholarship has grown, our parochial, as well as the number of students that are court placed and open enrolled in and out of the district, to where it needs more time dedicated to making sure that we maintain our responsibilities through IDEA laws, regulations, to make sure that we're servicing service plans and IEPs.
Member Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm trying to put this in my head. So this was an APS staff member that previously done this?
The individual that is on the board, yes, has done this in a part-time capacity.
Okay. So Madam Chair, I would look at this as we had a staff member, but now we're going to a full-time contract, and I would think that this would be better vetted through legal contracts, because we're entering into a consulting contract where we didn't have one before, correct?
We do have consultant positions. It's my understanding is it's a board position. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but it is a position that we have. It is not a consulting position outside of the district. It's just like saying special education teacher, PE teacher. That's just the name of the position. It is not a contract outside of Akron Public Schools. It is the name of a position that is funded through our IDEA Part B Title VI dollars to fulfill that obligation we have.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that the consultant word is throwing, but it is not a consultancy position. Yeah, it's an Akron Public School position. The title is special ed consultant.
Member Molinar.
Thank you. I am now thoroughly confused.
Okay.
So what I see on here now is the job code 232STS422. And I'm concerned more with the position than with the person. So at this job code, did we, until now, for the 25-26 school year have someone at this job code? And if not, how long has it been since we have filled this job code position?
So I would ask Superintendent Otley wanted to add to that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to add clarification that this is intended to be a replacement position, correct?
Correct.
That's how it was presented, as a replacement. So I think now, for clarification, they're asking who was in it before. It was an APS employee in it before, not an outside consultant.
Correct.
If you could give that
Correct.
clarification. And this current person is currently an APS employee.
Correct.
It's not an outside consultant.
Correct.
Okay.
Member Hall?
I guess that was kind of my same question. This person that will be taking this role, were they the part-time person before going into full-time?
Yes.
Okay. And does the salary reflect their part-time salary to be this current salary, I guess? What was the previous part-time salary?
I'm not sure. I couldn't speak to that.
So you do not have the answer right now for that question. Member Giroux?
Yeah, I would agree with my colleague, Member Harrison. Maybe we table this just to the Legal Contracts Committee, just because I want to make sure we do the right process. That when I heard it could be needing to be negotiated, I want to make sure we follow the right procedures and the right steps. If it does not, we want to get that answer clear. I know there's a lot of value in this position, so we want to be able to move forward, but we also want to make sure we do it the right way. So if I may amend the motion to table to the Legal and Contracts Committee meeting on February 18th.
Madam President, I think technically I need to withdraw my motion to approve, correct?
So Member Montgomery has withdrawn his motion. So the motion that's on the table now is to table. So the question is, shall item 10.6, transfer and reclassification, professional staff, Title VI, be tabled? All members are prepared to vote, and the treasurer will call the roll. Is there a second?
Second.
Hearing the second, and the treasurer will call the roll.
Reverend Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Giroux?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Dr. Molinar?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0 to move to table to the committee.
The motion is to table. And with the motion being tabled, then the chair will refer it to committee. All right. So item 11.2. 11.2, again, is the final item that was removed from the consent agenda, placed on the new agenda items entitled Employment Teacher Special Project General Fund. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been approved by Member Molinar, second by Member Harris. Is there a discussion? Hall, I'm sorry. Member Hall. Second, Member Hall.
Oh.
I said Harris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, huh.
Yeah.
Do you mind saying the
Discussion.
number again?
That would be 11.2, Employment Teacher Special Project General Fund.
Thank you, Madam President.
Member Montgomery.
My question is, it just says person listed as teacher special projects, and is there a reason why there's not a name associated with this? Is there a person in this position?
Yeah, there is not a name. However, we can still discuss the position, which is what would be preferred anyway, to discuss the position rather than the person. So Is there a question?
The question is there a person, and I don't need the name, I'm just saying, is there a person in this position? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Member Giroux.
It was brought to my attention that the job code is listed as 453, and that's incorrect for this position. Should be under 973. That there's a misclassification for this specific item.
Member Giroux, you want to explain why you think that?
Yes, it was informed to me by a colleague talking to Human Resources about correcting this code number. The code number 453 was the original. It was recommended that they change it to 973, and that should have been the proposed code number. And then the agenda had 453. So trying to find the right proper designation for this position.
So, Madam Superintendent, you want to just check that out? Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
We'll just check that, and if that's the case, then you will change the code. Yeah. Paris Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question is not that elaborate. The description says special projects, and I would kind of like to know what this position entails. What is a special project?
Administration will attempt to answer.
Thank you. Good evening, President Sykes, Vice President Molinar, and the board, Superintendent. So this teacher special projects is a position that we use in our non-publics. So there actually is a name. It's cut off. Patty Espy is an employee for Akron Public Schools. And it notes 001 general fund dollars, and that's kind of like a pass-through. So our non-publics have access to state funds called auxiliary funds and Title I funds. And when, sorry, it's a long sort of explanation, but we pool funds from other districts under MOUs that the board approves. So we'll hire the employee, and other surrounding non-publics will contract with us so that our employee serves our students, it serves their students, and we do this with other districts as well. For example, if a non-public only generates $2,000 in funds to serve our students, it's not enough to hire a full, FTE. So this pooling allows us to serve kids more effectively, which is our responsibility to serve the non-publics. So the teacher special projects is what we use in the non-public for after-school tutoring, and then also for some during the day tutoring. But Patty Espy is going to be providing extra services at the non-public schools, tutoring kids. Sorry, that was a long definition, but if I can answer any questions, I will.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Are there any additional questions or clarifications? Again, we're just also trying to get clarification on do you agree or not that it should be under 973?
I am going to have to lean in on my HR friends. Okay. I know the funding's right, the MOU. I know the work that she's doing is true and valid, but I'd have to check that job code if we may do that at a later time.
Okay, so we'll check that code. Oh, Treasurer.
Job code 973 is auxiliary tutor. 473 is teacher special project. 453.
So noting that they're using general fund dollars under an MOU, yes. I would say that is not auxiliary. That MOU would be for Title I dollars.
So your answer would be?
Not 453, or not
973. Yeah. So it should remain under 453.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the answer. Because of the funding.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Otherwise, it would go, as Member Giroux has said, under 973. Thank you. This is all working. All right. We got on 453. Are there any other discussions, any other questions? Member Kelly, please wait to be recognized. Member Kelly.
Thank you, President Sykes.
You're welcome.
I do have a question. If we could be provided, just like the previous agenda item we went over, I think it was
Member Kelly, you want to speak into the mic.
10.6, the same language that is provided in 11.2, I asked if we can provide the same language with all of our personnel recommendations, whether it's the title of the job or the funding is coming from, the job code. It would really help us follow the administration if this information was provided beforehand. We can add it to the agenda, and or there can be additional attachments provided for us, so that way we can make those connections as to where this position, where it falls, whether it's the code or the title of the job posting. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Kelly. I'm sure the administration's so noted. Madam Superintendent? Yes, so noted. Thank you. All righty. Well, the question is whether 11.2, employment, teacher special project, general fund, 453, shall pass. All members are prepared to vote, and the treasurer will call the roll.
Reverend Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Jaros?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Dr. Molinar?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Also, just a reminder to the members that this is also where you, if there is under new business, if there is an announcement that you would like, if there is something that you would like to bring to the attention of this body, this would be the time to do so. Member Hall.
I just wanted to remind everyone about the iFashion show with our students from East High School participating. It will be at House 330 tomorrow, starting at 7 o'clock. We would love to see everyone in the audience to support our children. Thank you.
Member Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I want to bring to the attention of the board and the APS staff the passing of a former Akron Public Schools employee, Coach Bobby Smith from Akron South High School. Coach Smith, some people would call him something Smith, some people would call him Smitty. But he is everything good about APS, everything good about APS athletics. He is a coach who galvanized the community around the sport of basketball. He was flamboyant. What the kids would say today is that he had swag. I can remember as a young child watching South High School, the Big Blue play basketball on television as he was taking them to championship games. So just want to be mindful and remember Coach Bobby Smith, Akron South High Big Blue, and want to say again, he is everything that is good about Akron Public Schools and Akron Public Schools athletics. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Harrison. Are there any other comments from the members? Let me just make a couple. I did want to note that there was a court ruling that took place last week. You may remember at the time we were going through great distress where we were required to sign the Dear Colleague letter as it related to threatening the federal funding that would be withheld from our educational institution if we taught critical histories, sociology, and other lessons that may make reference to providing support to students in the form of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So the court ruling vacated the letter and the certification that we were required to sign, holding that both are unconstitutional, unlawful, and the process that the administration pursued to create the requirement did not comply with the Administrative Procedure Act. Those rulings will now stand, and neither the letter nor the certification requirement can be enforced against any school in the country. That would include Akron Public Schools. So I would ask the policy committee to review this and to find out what our next steps are, what we can do. It was great distress where we disband our whole department and displace our staff that was there, and we want to see what's our next steps. And I'm particularly concerned about the next move that took place as it related to Dr. Attorney Sila Butler's program dealing with the Gear Up, and to see what can happen with that, if there's something we can do to reverse any of that. So I'm asking you, Pastor Harrison, and the members of the policy committee, if we can take a look at this policy and see where we are now that the court has made this ruling.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's the one. And I would like to announce that the Rules Committee will meet on February 2nd at 6:30. I will also announce that in addition to that meeting, that we will have a second meeting, and going forward, the Rules Committee will meet twice per month. And I would like to apologize to the members on the Rules Committee, Member Molinar and Member Kelly, that yes, we will meet twice in order to make sure that we have a proper times to review all of the legislation, resolutions, and items that will come before the committee, so that we can review those before they are actually on the agenda. So forgive me. Hearing no more announcements, the question is, let's see. Member Molinar, is there a reason to go into executive session?
There is a need to go into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1 to consider the employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or officials. 121.22G3, conferences with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject to pending or imminent court action, and 121.22G4, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other items and conditions of their employment. We're asking for a motion to move into executive session.
Hearing the motion, is there a second?
Second.
All right. All members are prepared to vote. Mr. Treasurer, will you call the roll?
Mr. Jaros?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Dr. Molinar?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Ms. Sykes?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Reverend Harrison?
Yes.
Motion approved, 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. So we will go into executive session. It is now 6:42. We will start in 10 minutes in executive session. We would hope that this executive session will last an hour or less. If it does not, then Member Molinar or myself or another board member will come down to let you know that it is going longer than we anticipated. And thank you for your patience. We will adjourn into executive session in 10 minutes.
Thank you for everyone who is patiently waiting while the board remains in executive session. There are some items that the board will need to remain in executive session to continue to discuss. There are some items that will need action when the board returns. The board will plan to return at 8:30. Thank you.
The Akron School Board is back in session. We are out of executive session, and the meeting is starting back in regular session. So there is a need to take action, and is there a motion? There is a resolution to consider employee discipline. Is there a motion to approve the resolution of intention to consider termination of administrator contract of Darian Johnson?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a discussion? Seeing no discussion, hearing no discussion, seeing no desire to discuss this any further, the question is, the members are prepared. Are the members prepared to vote? And the answer is yes. So the treasurer will take the roll.
Dr. Molinar,
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery,
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes,
Yes.
Ms. Hall,
No.
Reverend Harrison,
No.
Mr. Jaros,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-2.
Thank you. There is a need for another action. Is there a motion to approve the tax settlement resolution with the city of Akron?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
So the question is, shall the motion pass? The motion is to approve the resolution where the tax commissioner, the city of Akron, and the Akron City District has agreed on an amount that will be paid to the city, to the Akron Public Schools, in the amount of $455,612.72. And as we go forward, the amount of tax exemptions will be $72,500. Not so much tax exemption, but the amount of money that will be paid to the school board will be $72,500 going forward. So that is the question, and if that was not clear, I can repeat it because I did stumble a bit. So I can ask that question again if you're not clear on what we're doing here. And that's for the public too, what we're doing with this tax exemption legislation. So the question is, shall the action pass? Treasurer will take the vote.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Dr. Molinar,
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery,
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes,
Yes.
Ms. Hall,
Abstain.
Reverend Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Jaros.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0-1.
Thank you. That will conclude the actions that we were taking from the executive session. The next meeting will be Monday, February 9th, 2026. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion to adjourn has been made. There is a session. There's a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, the treasurer will take the vote.
Ms. Hall,
Yes.
Reverend Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Jaros,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Dr. Molinar,
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery,
Yes.
Mrs. Sykes. Mrs. Sykes.
So the vote is,
The vote 7-0.
thank you, to adjourn. Okay, we are adjourning at 8:35 p.m.